The stage was set for a classic National League East showdown on Friday, June 27, 2025, at Truist Park in Atlanta. The Philadelphia Phillies were in town to face their rivals, the Atlanta Braves, for the first of a crucial three-game series. However, Mother Nature had other plans for the evening. Dark clouds gathered over the ballpark and a persistent rainstorm forced a significant delay. The game, originally scheduled to begin at 7:15 p.m., didn't see its first pitch until 9:35 p.m. This long wait really tested the patience of the players and the fans who stuck around, creating an unusual atmosphere for such an important divisional game. The late start, honestly, added an extra layer of challenge to an already tense matchup between two historic franchises. Both teams desperately needed a victory as they walked onto the damp field. The Phillies arrived in Atlanta carrying the weight of a three-game losing streak, a skid that had stalled their momentum and threatened their position at the top of the division. They were looking for a spark, anything to get them back on the winning track. Similarly, the Atlanta Braves were not faring any better. They had dropped their previous two games and were struggling to find consistency. For both clubs, this game was more than just another date on the calendar. It was a chance to stop the bleeding, reset their course and gain a psychological edge over a direct competitor in the heated race for the NL East crown. The pre-game narrative was one of two powerful teams trying to overcome recent struggles. Baseball is a game of streaks, and both the Phillies and the Braves were caught in the wrong kind. A win would not only add a number to the correct column in the standings, but would also provide a much-needed boost in morale for the clubhouse. The long rain delay only amplified this tension, giving players and managers more time to think about the high stakes. The air was thick with humidity and anticipation when the game finally began, with everyone wondering which team would break out of its slump and seize control of the series from the very first inning. The context of their season-long battle added another layer of intrigue to the night. Coming into this game, the Phillies and Braves had faced each other 6 times in 2025, with the series tied at 3 wins apiece. This opening game in Atlanta was the tiebreaker, a chance for one team to claim bragging rights and take the lead in their head-to-head matchups for the year. Divisional games always carry extra weight, as they count more heavily in tie-breaking scenarios at the end of the season. So, as the first pitch finally flew through the humid Georgia air, it was clear this was not just a game, but a pivotal moment in the unfolding story of the 2025 National League East. From the moment the game started, the Philadelphia Phillies offense came to life with explosive energy. They did not waste any time putting the pressure on the home team. The Phillies hitters looked focused and determined, swinging their bats with confidence and making solid contact against every pitch. They quickly loaded the bases and began driving in runs, turning the scoreboard into a lopsided affair before the Braves even had a chance to settle in. It was a stunning display of offensive power, as the Phillies seemed to get a big hit every time they needed one. This early surge of runs created a commanding lead that silenced the Atlanta crowd and put the Phillies firmly in the driver's seat for the rest of the game. The main victim of this offensive explosion was the Atlanta Braves starting pitcher, Bryce Elder. It was a night he will surely want to forget. From his first few pitches, it was clear that Elder was struggling to find his rhythm and command. The Phillies batters were patient at the plate, forcing him to throw strikes, and when he did, they hit the ball hard. Elder's earned run average took a significant hit as he allowed a staggering 9 earned runs in a very short outing. He was unable to stop the bleeding, and the Phillies took full advantage, turning his difficult start into a catastrophic one for the Braves and building an insurmountable lead very early on. While the Phillies' bats were on fire, their own pitching and defense were sharp and efficient, completing the picture of a dominant performance. The early massive lead allowed their starting pitcher to throw with less pressure, focusing on attacking the strike zone and trusting the hitters to provide support. The defense behind him was flawless, making every routine play and preventing the Braves from building any kind of momentum. It was a complete team effort where every facet of the game, hitting, pitching and fielding, worked in perfect harmony. This comprehensive dominance showed what the Phillies are capable of when they are playing at their best and firing on all cylinders. By the late innings, the outcome was no longer in doubt. The Phillies had built a lead so large that the game felt more like a practice session than a competitive contest. They ended up winning by a final score of 12-0, a rout that sent a clear message to the rest of the division. The game served as a powerful reminder of the Phillies' offensive potential and their ability to completely take over a game. For new baseball fans, it was a perfect example of how a team's offense can overwhelm an opponent and decide a game in the very first few innings, making the remainder of the contest a long and difficult night for the losing side. This single decisive victory had an immediate and significant impact on the National League East standings. With the win, the Philadelphia Phillies improved their season record to 47 wins and 34 losses. This victory was just what they needed to leapfrog their rivals and reclaim the top spot in the division. They now sit in first place, just ahead of the New York Mets, who have a record of 48 and 35. While the Mets have one more win, the Phillies have one fewer loss, giving them a slightly better winning percentage and official control of first place for the time being. It's a tight race at the top, and this win gives the Phillies a crucial edge. On the other side, the blowout loss pushed the Atlanta Braves further down in the standings, compounding their recent struggles. Their record fell to 37 wins and 43 losses, placing them firmly in third place. They are now 9.5 games behind the first-place Phillies, a significant gap that will be difficult to close as the season progresses past its halfway point. For a team with championship aspirations, falling this far behind a division leader is a major concern. This loss not only hurt their record but also served as a morale blow, highlighting the gap that is formed between them and the top contenders in the NL East this season. It is important for new fans to understand that both of these teams are navigating these crucial games while dealing with significant injuries. Neither the Phillies nor the Braves have been at full strength, with key players missing from their lineups due to time spent on the injured list. This adds another layer of difficulty to their campaigns, as they must rely on other players to step up and fill important roles. Managing a team through injuries is one of the toughest challenges for a manager, and the team that handles this adversity better often finds more success over the long 162-game season. Both clubs are hoping to get their stars back soon. Looking ahead, the schedule offers no rest for either team. The Phillies and Braves will continue their series in Atlanta with games on Saturday, June 28th and Sunday, June 29th. These next two games are incredibly important for both sides. The Phillies will look to build on their momentum and win the series, creating more separation in the standings. The Braves, on the other hand, will be desperate to bounce back, win the next two games, and prove that Friday's loss was an anomaly rather than a sign of things to come. Following this series, the Braves will embark on a long 9-game road trip against American League opponents before the All-Star break. This victory was much more than just one win in a long season for the Philadelphia Phillies. It was a statement. By dominating the Braves in their own ballpark, the Phillies reasserted themselves as the team to beat in the National League East. After losing 3 straight games, there were questions about whether their momentum was fading. This powerful performance answered those questions emphatically. It showed their resilience and their ability to bounce back from a rough patch with force. For a team with championship hopes, being able to stop a losing streak before it snowballs is a critical trait, and the Phillies demonstrated that they have the mental toughness required to do so. Furthermore, the win provided a massive psychological boost. Beating a rival is always sweet, but beating them so decisively on the road after a frustrating rain delay is even better. This kind of victory can energize a clubhouse, restoring confidence and swagger that may have been shaken during the losing streak. It sends a message not only to the Braves, but to the entire league, that the Phillies' offense is a formidable force. For the players, it reinforces the belief that they can overcome challenges and dominate even against good teams. This renewed confidence will be invaluable as they continue their push toward the postseason. The win also held strategic importance for the season series between the two clubs. By taking the victory, the Phillies moved ahead of the Braves 4-3 in their head-to-head matchups for 2025. While this may seem like a small detail now, it could become very important later in the year. If the two teams end the season with the same record, the winner of the season series is used as a primary tiebreaker to determine who makes the playoffs or wins the division. Every win against a divisional opponent is a 2-game swing, as it's a win for you and a loss for them. Banking these crucial head-to-head wins early is a smart strategy. Ultimately, this game was a perfect encapsulation of what the Phillies aim to be: a powerful, resilient, and opportunistic team. They took a difficult situation with the rain delay, shook off the rust from their losing streak, and capitalized on their opponent's struggles with ruthless efficiency. It was a complete and total team victory that put them back in first place and reminded everyone of their potential. As the season marches on, this win in Atlanta will be remembered as a key moment when the Phillies stopped a slide, flexed their muscles, and firmly declared their intentions to win the National League East.